And why do we speak about violence specifically against women and domestic violence or gender-based violence? Indeed, women, even though they represent half of the European population, so almost 50%, they are still facing many types of inequalities solely based on the fact that they are women. There's no other reason. It's just because they are women. The majority of such violent acts are carried out by men against women, and it is done in their immediate social environment, most often by partners or ex-partners. Although methodologies vary, an overview of surveys of investigations which have been conducted by social specialists suggests that across countries, 1/5 to 1/4 of all women have experienced physical violence at least once during their adult lives. And more than 1/10 have suffered sexual violence involving the use of force. Some women get out of being participating in important and active decision fields of the society, and they let themselves segregate. Due to structural factors, including sometimes close links and the relation of dependency between perpetrator and victim, as well as lack of appropriate support and second victimization, which happens a lot, victims just stay silent because they think there's no better place to be, in spite of the fear of being subject to violence. And they also fear for their children. This is why we call it the shadow pandemic, the silent pandemic. And the Secretary General on the 8th of April last year, worried about the numbers and the increase, made an appeal to all states, which gave origin to a group of friends. It's called the Group of Friends, with more than 140 countries of the United Nations being working actively to find means to stop violence. Challenging harmful gender stereotypes in order to prevent violence is very important. Experts have studied it, and legislators, and it's still something that stays as a barrier in cultural, religious, or socially communities which are very strong. To combat it, states must establish obligations. Men's violence against women should be discussed, in my opinion, within the framework of all forms of violence and in an holistic view. And it should be discussed the causes and also the beginning of these problems in order to solve it. Let me show you how experts see across the world the problems which are stopping gender equality, and violence against women is certainly one of it. In fact, across the world, it varies a lot depending to the culture and traditions of each country. There are discrepancies in protection, which are provided by the judicial, social, and health authorities. And without intervention, states are likely to continue adopting diverse national measures, which is not good, because it leads to inconsistency in the standards, to different forms of looking at the subject, different forms of abolishing it. So to put an end to male violence against women, it's important to take a comprehensive action in all the countries to find a paradigm for societies. And of course, we should not forget the main actor, the person who can and should make violence stop, which is the victim. A woman needs to be supported, to be educated, to have self-esteem, and to talk about the problem of violence, the patterns of the cycle of violence, which happens normally in the life of a victim and the abuser. First, there is tension, and the person thinks that she cannot say anything that might raise the dynamics of violence. So she keeps silent, and whenever she speaks, she's afraid. Then there is the explosion, sometimes for nothing. And then the victim comes, the perpetrator comes and says, he promises it will never happen again. The cycle is broken by the woman herself or through some intervention, sometimes too late, because women are many times injured, and ultimately they can be killed by the perpetrators.